Hello everybody and welcome to another sim broadcast. Today we are watching Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large Round 2 from Fern Bay Gold in the UF 1000. I'm Peter Butcher and I'm joined in the commentary box once again by Eoin Harmon. Hi Eoin.
Hello Pete, good evening everybody, and let's see how we get on in the UF1. Should be a lot of good crack.
Yeah, it should be. You've swapped the driver's seat for the commentary booth once again, Eoin, and you've picked a good one. 40 plus cars are currently qualifying for round 2 of this championship. Last time out we were at where were we? KY2 Kyoto National, and 4 weeks later we are at Fern Bay Gold for what is sure to be a cracker. It's quite a short track and quite a short car as well. We are running with the UF 1000 today, the slowest and probably one of the best cars in Need for Speed, most enjoyable for the drivers. A tiny 1 litre inline-4 front-engined car with 55 brake horsepower. So yeah, a tiny little thing. Let's have a look at the combo for today. We are at Fern Bay Gold, as I mentioned. 3.5 kilometres faces the drivers. A 41 lap race at 10 past 7 UTC. Qualifying is underway for an hour, and yeah, we need to take the viewers to the track and find out what's going on there, Eoin. Who's currently topping the board and what's going on?
Yeah, and the form certainly favours Rick Ardle at the minute. He has the pole position narrowly over Unite. It's going to be very tight between those two, but we have a 3-pronged attack for Sidus. Gabor is 3rd, and Botsy is 6th. I now just gone down to 7th. So it's fast and frantic out there, Pete.
Yeah, Rick Cardle certainly showing us what's up today. He's leading the way by some. Well, how big is that gap? It's only 400ths of a second, yeah, and a further 400 hundredths back to Gabor for Sidus. Botsy, yeah, as you said, down in 7th place at the moment. 6-7 minutes left in the session for these tiny little cars to wiggle their way around the hills of Jamaica, and we will have our grid set for the start of a 41 lap race around Fern Bay Gold. So yeah, who's looking quick out there?
Yeah, don't forget Yanni Catilla either. That's P4 for the World Class Lions. Certainly one of the star drivers of that team, and he's actually gained a position up to 3rd.
Yeah, that was he's left it late. He's only 100th of a second behind Unite now, and it's really, really close at the top. The great thing about the UF1 is that there's such small margins with the car that basically you end up with this massively tight group at the top, and it doesn't really end up mattering how long the track is because, well, most of the track is flat out, Eoin.
Yeah, certainly. There's the first straight to look forward to as well. Like about 2 or 3 straights, we have a crossover section as well with the bridge between turns 5 and 6, and then it'll be underneath the bridge again for turns 8 and 9. So there'll be plenty of feet flat out on the accelerator.
Certainly will, and 43 times on the board so far, Eoin. So some people are going to be sad and aren't going to make it into qualifying for this extra large edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. Absolutely stunning turnout once again.
And then another element of the UF1 is you can either have a hard top or you can take it off and run a convertible setup. So it makes no real difference to the performance, but it's probably his driver preference. So you see Ayub here. He's taken off the roof. He's enjoying the raise.
Yeah, it's a nice little addition, isn't it? You can take the roof off the mini UF1. Same with the LX actually. You can take the roof off of each of those cars as well. Yeah, he comes across the line. Currently P13. I wonder if this is an outlap or an actual attempt. Let's see as he comes across the line, and he improves to P11.
Yeah, so even though the drivers have run 56 minutes, there's still so much time to be found on the track. It's very exciting to see. There's very little presumptions here. You have to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And there's a lot of new names out there, names I haven't seen before, and lots of names I do recognise. So we're in for a treat. I'm really looking forward to this. I imagine so are the drivers. The UF1 is an incredibly popular car, and so is Fernbay Gold. It is an absolutely genius pairing by Rony for this event. The 50th edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large, so a bit of a milestone for the series, and good to see a healthy turnout as a result. A fantastic combo, and sure to be an amazing race.
Yeah, they'll be running the 41 laps, as you said. That just gives so much time for the drivers to plan their routes to victory. So they're not going to be able to streak away with the low horsepower, but that makes it 10 times better for the viewers, I'm sure, and for the drivers. They don't have to give up. They'll be so close from beginning to end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be lots of pack racing throughout the field, sure. Yeah, the slower cars always lend themselves to close pack racing, and Fernbay Gold is a track that has a very tricky first chicane, Owen. It's probably easiest in this car because it's the slowest, but it's still very difficult. The curbs are massive as well, and I reckon we may see one or two cars rolling if they clip the tyres there, and that could cause carnage up and down the field.
That's very true. The sort of mountain ridge, a very steep hill, it's unprotected. So if the drivers make a horrible decision at that corner, they're going to be flung like Trial Mountain in Gran Turismo. Certainly very similar to that.
Yeah, and Tilo Falkenberg, the man with the statistics, basically, throughout all of these series that we cover, has pointed out that Rick Cardle is to thank for the combo choice this week, because the winner of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL is responsible for choosing the combo that the drivers choose next time. So misguidedly handed the credit to Rony there. In fact, it was Rick Cardle who chose the combo. So thank you very much, Rick. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, appreciate that, Rick, and he is paying dividends for his choice.
Absolutely.
The time for new laps has run out, so if you're not on the track already, you will not be realistically able to set a new lap time. But I'd say with this car, you can fill it up to about 10% fuel and get a lot of laps in. Traffic will be a factor, but not too bad. So let's see how they get on with the last minute and a half.
Yeah, a truly staggering number of cars setting laps here, and lots of cars close at the top as we enter the dying stages of the qualifying session. Rick Cardle, Unite, Johnny Catilla, Botsy and Gabor, the top five, and well, there's nothing to choose between them. Look, the Catilla and Botsy on the same time, and yeah, absolutely no time whatsoever separating the top five. The top six, in fact, separated by 1/10 of a second, with Master Race Cars Gemini up there in P6. It's anyone's game. Three of the Sidus cars in the top five, so you expect them to be pretty close throughout the racing.
Indeed, yeah. I was looking slightly like Ricciardo had it all his own way from his team, but Botsy gaining a few places there and Gabor in the top five, they would be the outstanding favourites yet again.
Yeah, and your teammate from the GT2 Challenge currently driving around, Steve Martin, P37 at the moment, so on a bit on the bubble, but this is the last timed attempt, so I think Steve will be safe, Owen.
Yeah, it's great to have Steve on board for the first time in Rony's Tuesday Fun Races. We'll be hopefully seeing him gain a few positions after qualifying, but it's a long race.
It certainly is. The timer has hit 0 seconds. That's it. We have everyone on the track, and this will be their last timed attempt. So in around about 2 minutes' time, we will know the full order of the qualifying session. Timu Soini, the last car across the line. Timu is currently P20 for World Class Lines, the sponsors of this series. €400 going to the Teams and Drivers Championship in this. Sorry, that's for Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. €100 for Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL. In fact, my mistake. So yes, a very healthy prize pool for the eventual winner of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL. kindly donated by the World Class Lions team. Onto the bridge goes Teemu Soini on his final attempt. It's amazing to think that P20 is it's halfway down the number of cars that are going to start this race. It's amazing to have 40 cars taking the start of this one. Around this really nice double left-hander section, very easy in the UF1. Those tiny tyres generating plenty of grip. You can do it flat out. He enters the final sector of the lap. Rick Cardle looks set to take pole position. I don't think anyone else is going to challenge him just yet. Unite really close, only 0.04 of a second behind. Yoni Katila a further 100th, with Botsi setting exactly the same lap time, just slightly later on in the session. Here comes Teemu then through the final left-right chicane onto the home straight, our final car, as he pulls into the pit lane. Not happy with his final attempt. And that is that, Eoin. I think we can bring up the results of the qualifying session on screen right about now. That looks wrong, in fact, so I will very quickly read.
Deja vu.
Yeah, okay, so we can't bring up those, unfortunately, just yet. So Rick Cardle takes the pole position from Unite, with Yoni Katila in P3, Botsi P4, Gabor P5, Gemini P6, Spikey for Born to Race P7, Dankas Mindaugas, that's an interesting name, in P8, Zesty for Master Race Car P9, Michael Malek P10 for Master Race Car. Then we've got Ayoub El Hanouni in P11, Kozi P12, Felipe in P13, Mandula P14. I've realised I'm going to be talking for a long time. There's a lot of cars to go through here. Twin Cam for Born to Race P15, Gentleman YTB in P16, Texas P17, Yari Katila for World Class Lions in P18. Then we've got Rick98 for Road Appraiser in P19, Teemu Soini P20, Rony himself just outside the top 20 in the end, P21 for him. Iron Donny, a name we expect to see further higher up, really. He's down in P22. Who's that in P23? I'm not sure I can read that name. But
it's
anyway.
Fadass, isn't it?
Okay, well, yeah, P23 for him. Then it's Migfa, a name I also haven't seen for a long time, in P24. Magic for Race Green P25. Yara Loco for Argentina Turismo P26. Redbot for Race Green in P27. Climbs P28. Bottergas P29. A lot of MRC drivers in this series, it has to be said. Kig P30, Talha P31, and Dario P32. So the 4 Master Race Car drivers there, just around about the 30th position. Atian P33, Carlos P34, Chameleon P35, Naga for Road Appraiser P36, Steve Martin, Umshnazi, Beppo Sachs, and Alessio Ramito round out the 40 qualifiers for this race. That took a long time, Eoin. But yeah, that's the number of cars that we have qualifying for the 50th edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL.
Yeah, it's XL stuff. By distance and XL by entries.
XL by entries, exactly.
That's it.
Oops. Yeah, absolutely mega stuff. So that rounds out qualifying, Eoin.
So yeah, I did say a little early on you can't make assumptions of what will happen, but the star drivers we've seen throughout the Tuesday Fun Races in 2021 are here again. So if they're gonna run away with it and prove me wrong, then they've given themselves the best chance.
They are indeed. Now, we have around about 5 minutes to go until the start of until the start of our 41 lap extra large race, which means it's a little bit of time for a bit of an announcement here. We have a series announcement for you. If you've been paying attention to our social media over the last couple of days, you will already have seen this, but we have a trailer to play you, and I will talk about it in just a couple of moments' time. So yes, Sim Broadcasts are very proud to announce that we are dipping our toes into the world of iRacing, and we are going to be covering the entire first season of the Scottish Motor Racing Club's Esports Racing Series, beginning with their Spring Cup starting on March the 17th. In iRacing, first round at Road Atlanta. I believe there are about 3 spaces left in sign-ups, and even though sign-ups were announced yesterday, the 40 or so places that are available for this championship nearly already sold out. So yeah, awesome stuff. We're going to be covering this starting next month, 6 rounds in iRacing, our first series in that simulator, and we are extremely excited, it has to be said, to be partnering with the Scottish National Motorsports Association, essentially, which is awesome. Cannot wait for that. So yeah, we are beginning our iRacing journey here at Sim Broadcasts, and for all you LFS folks, we hope you can join us for that and see what's going on in other sims, because we're going to be bringing you live coverage of that on our Twitch channel, as well as the SMRC Esports Facebook page and YouTube. So yeah, we have some crack commentary for that. We have Duncan Vincent, who is a regular at Knockhill in Scotland, commentating there, as well as Andy Alston as well on commentary. So some really awesome presenters for that. We hope you can join us on March the 17th for the inaugural round of the SMRC Esports Racing Spring Cup, presented by the Scottish Motorsports Scottish Motor Racing Club and Sim Broadcasts. Back to tonight's action, Eoin. We have 3 minutes left before we get going. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have basically a Sidus scrap at the front, and then a genuine racing driver thrown in, as well as a world-class Lions driver trying to get the win as well. It's going to be crazy down into turn 1.
Yeah, it's a big old hairpin to start us off, and then a chicane. So I have that feeling of deja vu again, where we've seen that before. But definitely the drivers want to make the use of their agile chassis this time. They can probably go 2 or 3 wide safely before that chicane, where they have to decide, am I going to go for it or hang back a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So 40 cars. We've got names we've seen plenty of times, plenty of names we haven't seen for a while. Lots and lots and lots of MRC drivers. We've got Gemini in P6, Zesty and Michaels in the top 10 as well. Further down the order, we've got attendance from Kig, Talha, Dario, Bottigas. So yeah, a huge MRC turnout. Great to see that. Yeah, and they'll be wanting to get stuck in and making progress through the grid. Should also point out that Born to Race Spikey, the top qualifier for Born to Race, Abe just outside the top 10, and Twin Cam, your fellow countryman, Owen, down in P15. But yeah, it's still pretty high up, considering that 43 cars tried to qualify for this race. And yeah, Voice in our ear says that the top 28 within a second, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, that's superb for a near 2-minute lap. That does demonstrate a lot of skill on show. And then if you have a bit of time, let's share some of Thilo's trivia. He provided us the stats for RTFR XL. Of the 50 races we've run, this is the second time that we've come to Fern Bay Gold. That was won by Ivan Laprovot, a name I'd remember from the Kyoto days. That was FBMs rather than the UF1s. But this is our 5th time with the UF1 car. Rick Cardle and Botsy have won the other 3 of them, I believe. Yeah, they were at the likes of Kyoto, West Hill, Aston and South City. And then the average turnout is 17.5 drivers in the UF1 RTFRs, but that's eclipsed today. So I imagine the calculator will be out again, Thilo. What's the average going to be now?
Yeah, that record absolutely smashed, and I like the fact that the average was half a driver. I wonder who the half a driver was in that. Here we go, Owen.
Yeah.
take us away for the start of this one.
Everybody wishing themselves good luck, and the whole point is have fun. That's RTFR in a nutshell. Let's go racing. The flash of lights from pole sitter Rick Ardle. It's not the ones you want to look out for, of course. It is the red dual set, and then the green. It's go! Fern Bay Gold. And Unite looks to have a better start on the outside line. Botsy is blocked by Yanni Catilla, and the rest of the cars are accelerating now, braking for the first hairpin.
Yeah, an
Should
enormous
be nice
number of
and
cars
smooth.
flying down to the first corner. Awesome to see. And it looks pretty clean, doesn't it? As Rick Cardle gets a great launch off the line through the first chicane. They all file. Wow, what a sight that is. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, Gentleman YTB had a go at twin cam, didn't quite work out, and that's allowing Texas a move into 15th or 16th, beg your pardon.
Yeah, so many cars out there on the track at the moment. It's really hard to kind of
the back of the pack, Pete. It's a little hectic there with Talha, Migpa, and Dario all neck and neck with each other, and a big move from Magic on the outside. That is crazy how he's pulled that off. Well done. You just see it there in the background. Well executed from Magic on the outside line. Here we go for another hard braking zone. 50-meter board should do them well here. Oh, bit of contact. Seems to be okay though. These cars are sturdy enough.
Going to end up being about 17 wide down into turn 1 again at this point. Well, this car's so thin you can get quite a lot of them side by side on the track. Up the front, Yanni Catilla's made it up into P2, just ahead of Unite. So a good start there from Yanni Catilla. Gabor also has dropped down to P5.
Yeah, he nearly had the lead. It was just a shame. The flow of the corner meant that Rick Ardle had enough nous to make sure he could defend the position. If it was a hairpin, I'd say it was Catilla's to lose.
So we've already got a car going into the pit lane. That is Gemini from Master Race Cars. Decided that he's going to give up track position on lap 1 to make his mandatory pit stop. Remember, they have to stop for 10 seconds throughout the race, whether that's over 1 or 2 pit stops. Gemini surely going for his one and only stop really early. That's very surprising. I would have thought he would have preferred track position. But anyway, he's going to come out in a heck of a lot of traffic, and that's going to be a tricky race for Gemini. These top guys, I do not expect to pit, but we'll see whether that tactic for Gemini pays off later on. As we watch Yanni Catilla hassling the back of Genuine Racing's Unite as we head through this flowing hill section. A little bit of contact. You don't want to rub too hard in these cars because the collision model's a little bit weird and you end up wobbling around all over the place. But anyway, Yanni Catilla will be lining up Unite for a move into the left-hander as we approach the end of the bridge. It's so the racing in the UF1 is just so much fun. It's so slow that you end up with so much time to line up your opponents, as we see there.
Unite goes wide.
Yeah, Catilla making the move. So Catilla up to P2 once again.
Great first or great second split for Rick Ardle. 4/10 better off than Yanni.
Yeah, and the two Sidus cars at the back of this top 5 battle really close together. We've got Gabor and Botsy together as Unite goes for a bit of a slide and loses a ton of time as he heads into the long sweeping 180-degree left-hander at the end of the lap. And already a bit of a void opening up between the leader and the rest of the podium.
Yeah, still the majority have stayed out. But
Who's that pulling into the pits? Is that Unite? Unite has pitted, so he has gone for this early tactic as well as someone else behind. Who's that? Is that that's Stankus? He's decided he's going to do that as well. So interesting. That's not what I expected at all. And funnily enough, that promotes Michael Malek's, Baiki, and Ayub up a few positions. Michael's currently battling with Ayub at the moment. And Kozi has just made a move around. Sorry, Mandula's just made a move around the outside of Kozi there. And
Unite's pit stop was a very, very strong one. He got a 10.04 Beppo Sachs made a mistake just before the first chicane, and he's lost position there. But yeah, the whole drama of our last race a month ago, Pete, was the failure of Unite to take a pit stop under 10 or
Yes,
over 10
absolutely.
seconds.
That's true. Yeah,
He
just
cost
under,
himself,
wasn't it?
yeah, 9.99. It's against the rules.
Yeah, so let's get an example of why it's often not a good idea to pit early in a long race, because look at Unite now, 29th position, and look at that, he's in the middle of traffic, and he's going to have to work his way through all of this traffic, while Rick Cardle, Yoni Katila, Gabor and Botsi up front basically only have themselves to battle with. So Unite needs to make very, very quick work of these guys, otherwise that tactic probably will have cost him.
Yeah, Rony was the only one willing to try it at Kyoto National. I don't think he was able to really make an advantage of it, but with these cars, it could be a whole different story.
Yeah, absolutely. It just depends. It really just depends on the luck of the draw. Just think this car is just a little bit too slow to end up with that being a good tactic, as we see Michael and Mandula side by side into turn one. Mandula here, P7 has the corner for now, and there's action up front as well.
Yeah, just ahead of them, yeah, Botsy and Spiky. Very, very tight into that chicane.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Botsy made a mistake or something, because he's been swallowed up quite considerably by Spiky there. He was really close to Gabor a few corners ago, and that gap has opened up a lot. So Spiky, in that wonderful Teletubbies livery, I have to say, moves up to P4. Never thought I'd say that on stream.
Yeah, the creativity is on show. There are other humorous liveries up and down the grid, but Mandula is one of the default ones, but it's advertising Pete's Pizza.
Yeah, one of the classic default LFS liveries is we've got Botsy and Spiky going wheel to wheel. Good stuff. And that's allowing Ayub, Spiky's teammate, in the more traditional Born to Race livery to catch up. We watch from the blimp cam as we see Botsy and Spiky still side by side. I wonder if Abe's going to decide to just wait behind his teammate or try and send one. Spiky and Botsy still side by side as we head into the final sector. I wonder if
there's a collision in the backfield here. Carlos tried to move on the inside of Temporargo, I think's the name. I can't quite read it, but he had a move attempted and there was just a collision as the other driver pulled onto his line, and it caused him into a spin. Front wheel drive aspect of the UF1 means he was able to recover it fairly quickly.
Yeah, we thought it was impressive that Botsy and Spiky were going side by side, but there was 3 wide going on there. And it looks like we've got 3 wide again. We've got Mandula, Spiky, and Ayub, with Botsy just ahead, almost in diamond formation there. Oh, Ayub almost locking up. Oh, narrowly avoids his teammate, but Michael runs into the back of Mandula there, and now they're all going to lose position. There's not a lot of torque, not a lot of horsepower in this car, so you have to maintain the momentum through these corners. Any loss of momentum, and you get swallowed up, as you can see there. Ayub down to P8 now.
Yeah, it's awfully frustrating for Ayub, but he still has the means to gain positions again. He's right on Michael Malik and Mandula.
Yeah, kind of a 5-car pack there. Who's that who's dropped off? Twin Cam has dropped off the back of this group a little bit. Botsy's managed to run away a little bit from Spiky as well, but Mandula and Michael still very close. Michael fancying a shot around the outside of Mandula into the left-hander up ahead. And maybe Ayub thinking about a sniff as well. Ayub goes for it. Gone for it. Oh, he had to break out of it. That could have been terrible. As we see there, Cozzy and Twin Cam having a bit of an argy-bargy. Cozzy deciding to let Twin Cam through on that occasion. Probably wise.
Yeah, the camera on the outside line didn't fully show how close Ayub was to hitting that barrier, and that would have shot him straight into the other drivers. So well done to those 3 for hanging on in there.
Yeah, Rick Cardle leads, but I have to say, Yoni Katila is slowly chopping away at that little gap there that he has. Gabor also is closing in on the leaders, but there's a big gap now between Botsy and the top 3 because these lot have been scrapping for the last 4 laps. Spiky really close behind Botsy, and apparently we've got Cozzy in the pit lane. So another one of the top runners deciding to pit early. Now, this will be interesting. Where will Cozzy come out in relation to Unite? Probably behind, as we've got another car joining the pit lane activities. Magic for race green.
Because he's still pitting, so Unite would be through now. He's against Steve Martin.
Yeah, Unite's already down into turn 1, so oof, that gives you some indication of how much the leaders were holding each other up. Unite, with currently the quickest pit stop, we believe, is already in P22, and Cozzy, who was running pretty close to the front, P28, and only just rounding turn number 1, Eoin.
Climbs is off at the exit of that chicane, but thankfully everyone avoided him.
Yeah, a number of cars
That's
suffering.
a lot of damage.
Oh, a lot of damage on the rear. Yeah, that's not going to help, especially with so many laps remaining. A lot of damage. As I want to turn our attention back to the front, Eoin. I think Rony is on pace at the moment. He hasn't got the fastest lap of the race, but he really is close behind Rick at the moment. Abe and Michael Malik also close together. Abe with a bad exit. Michael's got a nose on the inside. It's going to be a move. Rony Catilla strong
for Rony.
Yeah, Rony's strong in the first sector. Here comes Michael. The two Born to Race cars fighting with Michael Malik. But wow, that was interesting. Oh, and there's contact, and Michael's going to get shoved off. He's probably going to lose another place here. Yep, he loses another place. So the two Born to Race cars slightly ganging up on him there. Yeah, Michael down into 10th place, so he's lost 4 places, well 3 places actually, as we have Jari Catilla now deciding he doesn't want to be involved in that and goes to the pit lane on lap number 6, finds a pit box, and that's him stopped. His son Rony is currently in P2 and isn't showing any signs of getting into the pit lane. We know Rony's strong in the first sector, but it looks like Rick's had a good first corner. Side by side, 3 wide with Unite on the outside. Going into turn 1, will Unite try and hang it around the outside? That's Atian in the middle, contact. So yeah, Unite being held up a little bit here by this squabble.
It's proven costly.
Yeah, Chameleon there in the middle in the white livery there. Unite's going to try and get around him before the sector 1 mark, but it's going to be tricky. A longer line around the outside, but he is going to be passed before we head into the sweeping section. Yep, he's through. Next car on Unite's list is Atian. As Gabor takes the fastest lap on this occasion. So yeah, the top 3 really are bunching up. Less than 2 seconds separating our podium at the moment. Unite having to go defensive. Atian... Oh, sorry, yeah, Atian went defensive. He's forced Unite around the long way here. And there's contact on the exit. So yeah, Unite not having an easy time of it. And I think he's going to have to defend... Not quite. Doesn't need to defend there from Chameleon.
Twin Cam is holding up his teammate here, everybody. It's so close between the two of them, but Twin Cam got 2 wheels off the track on one of the curbs, and that has delayed his teammate. But Zesty is now looking to pounce on these two.
Yeah, I mean, Ayub was ahead of Twin Cam, so Twin Cam at some point sent it on his teammate. And yeah, that's the last thing the teammates want to be doing. They don't want to be fighting, as we've got a car in the pit lane. Is that Redbot? I think it was Redbot that just went in the pit lane. Oh no, it was Iron Donny that went in the pit lane.
Donny.
Very similar livery. So Ayub actually gets back past. They need to work it out, don't they? You don't want to be fighting with your teammate in a long race. But yeah, Zesty, as you said, looking to capitalise on a battle between the Born to Race teammates.
And Donny's merging back onto the track. It's perfectly fine, but it's Cozzy who was trying to make a move separate to that, and Donny was just trying to get back to top speed.
Yeah, we just lost a car. I believe that was Chameleon. Yeah, he's retired from the race. So we lost one of our front runners, unfortunately. But yes, interesting to see that Cozzy has come out behind Donny. Very, very close, though. So these early pit stops are really going to shake up the order later on. Got contact in the background somewhere in the region of Rony.
Yeah, he made certainly a power play against the 2 drivers behind him. So I think he's starting to feel his rhythm.
Yeah, and we've got, well, while that overtake's going on, I want to bring your attention to the front again, that the gap from Rick Cardle to Rony Cotillo closer than ever. Just 0.31 of a second separating the top two at the moment. Remarkable. As we've got a battle at the front between Mandula and Spiky. Pete's Pizza versus the Teletubbies as we go on to lap number 9 for these guys. Mandula on the inside, going for P5 on the Born to Race driver, who has elected not to run the usual Born to Race livery, much to our entertainment. Are they trying to imply something, that this is a children's car? I mean, the racing is feisty enough that I would say that it's very much not a child's car. But anyway.
Yeah, it's not a toy, but I presume some people had to learn how to drive in them.
Climbs and Atian decide enough's enough and go to the pit lane. Let's keep an eye on this battle between Mandula and Spiky. Ayub and Twin Cam still going at it, it has to be said, but Zesty not quite close enough at the moment to make any sort of move if those guys come together. Rony's right on the back of Rick Cardle. I wonder if there's going to be a move going on anytime soon. Mandula still leading Spiky at the moment, though, and it's a similar story to what we saw at Kyoto, Eoin, where it seems like the top guys are just in pairs at the moment, using each other's draft to get around.
Yeah, that's a very strong point there. But it's gotten a little too feisty between Mandula and Spiky. They've bumped into each other and dragged each other off onto the grass. But they've both survived because they were all alone. But if there was a third driver there, that would have been chaotic.
Look at Rony now. Rony has a run. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he's going to go for it. Rick goes defensive. Across start finish. Rony's been chomping away at this gap for a number of laps, and he's decided, yeah, I want to have my turn in the front. I'm going to go for this move. Rick's gone defensive. He's on the inside. He's still got a nose ahead, so this is going to be close. You can see Rony Cotillo's rear right wheel there locking up as he goes into turn 1. And he's hit the grass a little bit, and that's going to let Rick through, surely. He's not going to try and go for the move into the chicane. Oh, almost thought about it. And yeah, hits the tyres. Yeah, he almost committed to that. I'm a little bit surprised. That's cost him more time. He should have just realised what was going on there and backed out, I think. But anyway, Rick maintains the lead just by a nose. And that lets Gabor catch up ever so slightly. The gap down half a second between the top 3. Otzi's in kind of no man's land at the moment, isn't he? He's some 5 seconds behind.
Indeed, yeah. You think back to regular RTFR when the battle for the lead was decided with a badly timed maneuver. So hopefully these two can keep it clean this time.
Yeah, outside the top 30, we've got a furious battles going on as we see Magic getting involved with Felipe there. A little bit of contact through turn 1. Magic electing to use the Google Chrome offline dyno livery. I like it.
Yeah, it's certainly a sort of out there livery. But
yeah, I always get disappointed.
To do, nice
I'm always disappointed when that game ends because it means my internet connections come back, but I lose my high score. So anyway, hopefully Magic stays connected to the server and hasn't jinxed himself as Felipe goes for a move into this corner. Oh, no contact on this occasion. Close between Naga and Stankus. Stankus, one of the cars who's been in the pit lane, remember. Unite has made it up to P15, having pitted on, well, very early in the race. Gemini's in this battle as well. Gemini has also been down the pit lane. So it seems as though most of the people who pitted early have kind of slotted themselves back into the mid-pack. But they are all battling now with each other. What these guys really need is for Rony Cotillo to catch right up to the back of Rick and start holding each other up, because otherwise they don't stand a chance of winning. The leader's pace is very, very fast. And as I say that, I've just noticed that Unite has the fastest lap of the race, so he must have found some clear air. As we've got some contact with Gemini there, you can see that when these cars make contact, it isn't that pretty. Kind of wobble about a bit, and yeah, that's cost Gemini some time. But Genuine Racing's Unite is the man on the move, and he has indeed found himself a little bit of a bubble. He's 5 seconds behind Migfa, and he's got no pressure from behind either. So a nice, comfortable bubble for Unite to start pumping in some quick laps.
Oh, and a spin for Steve Martin. He's lost control just before the downhill section, between turns 4 and 5. I think
That's an odd place to lose the car. Was there contact, Owen, or was that
I didn't
an
see.
unforced
I
error?
just saw the car into the grass. There must have been a bump from behind.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It doesn't seem like a place you'd normally lose the cars. We've got Gemini side by side with, who's that? Is that Naga? No, it's Stankus. Stankus in the white livery there, battling with Gemini. There's contact, and yeah, I mean, Gemini, there was a car on your inside there, mate. You need to leave him a bit of room. Yeah, you don't want contact in these cars because there's no power, so you lose loads of time. Gemini keeps that position for now. E19. Magic, meanwhile, is sizing up Carlos. Magic. Oh, hello. Are they going to try and... Wow, yeah, that was interesting. There we go. There's a crash. Magic's off. Who was that he took with him? Was it Kig? It was not Kig. Who was it, Owen?
Temperato.
Okay, so Temperato getting a little bit spooked by the guys behind. Magic just kind of misjudged that, I think. Yeah, a little bit of a weird one for Magic there. I don't think it helped that the car on the inside either. Carlos decided to go for a move quite late. So Carlos also picking up some damage on his front right. And battling with Kig there. Carlos going very deep into the corner, locking up his rears again. And, well, seems as though he's made the move, actually. That was inspired.
Yeah, bump and run there.
Yeah, all's fair. As we've got Gemini in another battle, he's brought back up to Stankus, and yeah, this battle has been going on for a while. I wonder whether he's actually going to manage to get past this time. Stankus qualified pretty well, so did Gemini, so these guys were at the front before they pitted. I believe the highest placed car that has pitted is still Unite in P15, still setting very quick lap times. Gemini through the left-hander at the end of the bridge onto this wonderful double left section, easily flat out in the UF1, and he's got himself a bit of a fight as Gemini. Wonder how he's going to end up getting through this lot without any contact. Stankus looks like he's going to go and size up Naga here. Oh, there's contact. Gemini's through past one of them. That was unfortunate for Stankus. And yeah, Naga now has to defend from Gemini. Wouldn't have appreciated that little bump there, Owen. It really does unsettle the car.
That's certainly true. Turn 9 is seemingly the place where the most risks are being taken.
And Naga,
prime example.
Absolute massive contact there. I'm not quite sure how that actually was initiated, but I'm assuming it was Gemini. He was the only car anywhere near that. Yeah, Naga sent off. Yeah, Gemini's slow look. He's just been overtaken by Yari Katilla, my mistake. Yeah, Naga and Gemini coming together there. Didn't quite catch it. But anyway, ahead of them, Gentleman YTB is now the one who's battling with Stankus.
Yeah, unfortunately, Etienne has timed out and will take no further part.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's not the first time we've seen Etienne timing out of a race. He unfortunately lost out on a few points during the BF1 League, Master Race Cars BF1 League, for the same issue. So frustrating for Etienne. Yeah, never nice to see people timing out. It's was annoying. So Gemini, after that contact at the end of the last lap, has decided he doesn't fancy being stuck behind Yari anymore. So he's going to try and go for a move at some point. Yari having to defend a little bit. But yeah, Gemini on the move, wanting to get back inside the top 20 for sure. And hopefully he can do it cleanly without any more incidents. Goes to the outside, not the optimal line, into this nasty right-hander with the big curb on the inside. Trying to do the undercut. Gets up on two wheels, and that's allowed Iron Donny to catch back up. So, Rick Cardle still very much at the head of this race. Half a second the gap between him and world-class Lions Yoni Katilla. But look at that, Gabor is now pretty much within touching distance. He's brought the gap down to Yoni to just 0.8 of a second. The top three are streaks ahead of Botsy, who's now 6 seconds behind. Mandula P5 in his own little bubble. And here we have a battle on our hands at the further forward. We've got Gentleman YTB and Stankus going side by side. And it looks like Gentleman YTB has made it through on Stankus before the first chicane. And in the background, Gemini has made it through on Yari. That must have happened somewhere near turn 1, and Yari's prodding the back of Gemini. That's not what you want to do. This group of 4 is really going to bunch up in a minute. Rony is having to defend from Kozzy, I believe. Yep, Kozzy on the outside there in the orange UF1. Rony defending perfectly fine, and Kozzy's actually dropped back quite a way. And Unite now has caught up to one of the cars that was involved in the incident a few laps ago. That's Migfa. As I mentioned in qualifying, a name I haven't seen in a very long time, not since City Liga. Migfa driving for FRT. Currently P14, has yet to stop, I believe, and Unite, the highest placed car who has stopped, about to make a move for the first time in a while, probably down into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like a signed, sealed, and delivered overtake. Just waiting for it to be brought into reality. Yeah, that's nice and easy. Oh, that's a driver off in the grass, Timu Soini. It's a costly mistake for Timu Soini. I know we're on Stankus now. Just made a bad mistake. He's going to lose out.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of places, and we've got a gaggle of cars here. Gemini's gone wide at turn 1. He just made the move on. Who did he make the move on? Bottigas, and now it's bunched up again. Bottigas deciding not to return the move. Donny is there behind Yari Katilla, who is behind Bottigas, and you're watching Gemini, who's leading this pack of 4. As they make their way through these sweeping corners. Great section this in any car in Live for Speed. The UF1 is it's a little bit easy, but yeah, it makes moves very tempting, Eoin, and that's where we see these little trip ups that drivers keep making, causing cars to fly off the track occasionally.
Yeah, just in view there, Pete, Stankus and Gentleman, they've been absolutely tied to each other for that entire section of flat out track. But then maybe Gentleman is psyched out. Stankus just a tiny bit as they head for the swoop, the long left-hander.
Yeah, we've got side-by-side action.
I think it's okay.
Quite a lot of places at the moment. Donny there was going side-by-side with someone as well. But yeah, these two guys still going strong. They're going to get caught if they keep doing this, though. They've got Gemini, who's on a bit of a mission behind. But yeah, Donny was going side by side with, I believe, Bottigas a few corners ago, and he's managed to get through and now is hassling Yari Katilla. All going on.
Someone with the audacity to put in a full sentence in the chat is Texas. He just seems to be having fun. All on his own in 10th place. It's very odd, but it's probably
almost 3 wide across the line, Eoin. Oh, Rony decided to almost put it 3 wide with these 2 orange cars. Who are these orange cars? We've got Kozzy and we've got Bottigas. Kozzy helpfully giving us a number plate to look at, and it looks like Rony is not going to go for that move, and he's got Rick 98 behind him. Well, for Road Appraiser. Haven't seen many Road Appraiser drivers recently on our coverage. Good to see some of them here. Unite is making a move on Redbot. He's made great progress, actually. This is the move for 12th place in the race, and Redbot says, okay, yeah, you can have that. Doesn't put up much of a fight. Oh, as Unite drops a wheel on the grass, that might change things. No, Redbot's decided to stick behind. Unite up to P12. YTB, Gentleman YTB and Stanker still going at it. And Gemini closing in behind as well. I told you that Gemini was going to catch up to these guys. And he really has now.
Yeah, it happened in an instant, Pete, so well predicted. But Stankus has a run. Corner won't suit him for any longer, so the inside line belongs to Gentleman.
Yeah, I wonder what
Gemini has a great
here.
view.
Yeah, he has a great view. He's going for it. He's going to...
Oh, Gentleman. My goodness, how do you hold that?
Yeah, we're riding on board with Gemini. He's going to try and go around the outside of Stankus, and it has, in fact, worked. That was brilliant. Well done to Gemini for that one. Hopefully he can hold it. He's got Gentleman to size up now. Stankus just a little bit aggressive, wasn't really paying attention to his rear view, and Gemini took full advantage and went around the outside on a corner where you don't see much overtaking. Gemini's got a good run here on Gentleman YTB, side by side across start finish. The outside again for Gemini. Often the favoured line if you want the inside for the first chicane. Gentleman very deep on the brakes. Gemini will get the undercut as we run up the hill. Who's going to yield for the chicane? Oh, you never like to see this. Gemini's got a smart head on his shoulders, and yes, he backs out a little bit to avoid the side-by-side through the chicane.
Yeah, Gentleman has been the bravest or most naive in that chicane. I've seen him stick to that inside as hard as he can. Nearly putting himself out of the race. Yeah, that time it made the most sense. But now he's under pressure. Temperato makes pit stop. He's going to be the very last runner still going.
Stankus has got a great run on Gemini here, so Gemini having to go from hunter to hunted very quickly. Goes defensive. Stankus trying to make the move behind again. That's letting Gentleman YTB get a bit of air between these guys. But yeah, Gemini is in a bit of a rut at the moment. He's not really making much forward progress now that he's caught up with these guys, and it's very, very difficult to get clear once you're in a battle, because there's a couple of very long straights, and the drafting is quite effective in the UF1, surprisingly to most. I don't know whether Yoni Catilla's going to get frustrated eventually with just watching the Sidus car straight ahead of him.
Botegas and Rick 98 make contact at turn 9. That's to Fadass's delight. He gains position. Rony as well, up 1.
Yeah.
While Botegas down 2.
Yeah, just missed that action, but Botegas to the back of this pack now. As the Road Appraiser driver, the top placed Road Appraiser driver, Rick 98 in P23, comes across the line to start lap 18 of his race, leading the trio of cars behind him, including Rony. Meanwhile, at the front, Eoin, I think we're going to see something eventually. Surely there's going to be a change for the lead again. I can't believe how close these guys have been the whole time without much action happening. Maybe Yoni just biding his time, doesn't want to hold them up. He's quite comfortable sat behind Rick, letting Rick do all the work. Rick will, I'm sure, realise that Yoni's not just going to send one from 9 miles back. Both smart racers.
Yeah, it's still worth mentioning we're not halfway through the race yet. So I wouldn't risk anything too soon.
Rick Cardle, of course, chose this combination as the winner of the first round of the 2021 season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL. And right now, it's looking close, but he is doing everything he needs to do just at the moment to make it 2 from 2 for himself and for Sidus, as we've got Gemini and Gentleman YTB swapping places on our timing tower. Must be in there close. Gemini trying to size up Gentleman, but Gentleman just, putting his car in all the right places, and Gemini is definitely trapped here. He needs to get past if he wants to progress any further up in this race. It's incredibly difficult to get past a car of similar pace. You have to be quite a lot quicker than them in raw pace in order to get past and stay ahead with such a slow car with massive straights around.
Yeah, that's the element of single class racing, especially with just 55 brake horsepower.
Yeah, it looks like Gemini's going to make that move now. He's already through by the time turn 1 happens, which is really important. You don't want to be side by side going in. because you'll have what happened last lap, where you hold each other up into the chicane and the guy behind catches you up. But Gemini ahead finally of these 2 cars behind him, and can now look forward and try and make some progress through the field once again. But yeah, that's early pit stop definitely costing Gemini. He got caught up in a battle he didn't want to be in, and yeah, he'll want to get rid of Gentleman YTB behind him as quickly as possible. And similarly, Gentleman will want to stay on his coattails. Doesn't want to let him run away. Wants to get that place back, and he might have a run here actually. Gemini goes very, very defensive, weaving around, trying to break that toe. Yeah, it looks like he's clear on this occasion. Rick Cardle then crosses the line to start lap 20. Halfway through this lap, we will be halfway through the race. Rony Katilla still really close behind, 0.3 of a second at the line to our leader. Gabor Dura behind is 1.3 seconds off the lead. Then Botsy some 6 seconds back. Botsy very, very strong in the UF1. I have raced Botsy in the UF1 on many occasions, and I know how quick he is in it, so he'll want to be closing that gap down if he can. Sure what's up with Botsy's pace, so maybe didn't do as much practice for this one as he normally does, but anyway, he's 8 seconds off the lead now, which is quite amazing. Mandula P5, a strong running for him today. Then Spikey in that fantastic livery, leading his 2 Born to Race teammates behind of Ayub and Twin Cam in P8 and 7 respectively. Then it's Zesty for Master Race Car and Texas in P10 as we have a battle on for the lead. Rony Katilla on the outside of Rick. He's finally decided he's going to go for it. It's still not paying off.
No resolution in sight there. It's just so frustrating for Rony.
Yeah, the thing is, Rony has been following Rick for so long that, yeah, as soon as Rick makes a mistake, Rony's going to be tempted to make a move. But the second you make a move in this car, you slow yourselves down. And now, look, we have a 3-way battle for the lead because Gabor is closer now to Rony than he is to Rick.
Yeah, it's massive now. Gabor has decided now is my time. I just noticed a bit further on in this lap,
Gabor's pitting.
Rony and Fatass swap positions, so Fatass gains.
This is massive. Gabor's gone in the pits. Where's he going to come out? Probably in a massive pack. So that might be inspired. It might be a disaster for Gabor as the back markers there make their way for the leaders. But yes, I reckon Rony's breathing a sigh of relief. I don't think he wanted to be battling with Gabor just then. So it is now a 2-way fight for the lead at this stage of the race as Gabor goes into the pit lane and rejoins in P10 or P9. No, it is P10.
Yeah, P10, so that means
where
United just position behind, yes.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
close though. So United hasn't lost as much time as I thought he would. That is remarkable. But more importantly, Gabor did come out of the pits just slightly ahead. The gap 4.7 at the line. It will go down slightly at the split because Gabor was leaving the pit lane. But it doesn't take this car too long to get to top speed. Yeah, the gap 4 seconds at the first sector. So that's all that Unite lost out to Gabor during the early pit stop phase. So Unite, he has the fastest lap and he clearly has the pace. So let's see, keep an eye on that gap as the race progresses through the second half. Yeah, Gabor's already got past Michael actually. Michael has not pitted as far as I'm aware. No, he hasn't pitted. So Gabor now battling side by side with Michael. That's going to be fun for Nico to watch. Yep, Michael defending hard, and he has every right to. We're hearing that Rick, Gabor and Unite each have a fastest sector between them, so pretty much nothing to separate them on pace, besides the fact that Unite has the purple bar, meaning he has the outright fastest lap of the race, as Michael and Gabor make contact there, Eoin, actually. And Gabor is dropping back into the clutches of Unite as a result.
Yeah, it's pivotal. Gabor can't remain in this situation for much longer. I thought he was going to contend for the lead a few laps ago, but that has been taken away from him now with his strategy.
Twin Cam to the pit lane, the first of the Born to Race cars to take the plunge. Let's see where Twin Cam comes out. Gabor and Unite have already streaked past, so he's going to be coming down way down the order. Let's see where he comes out. Mandula goes past, yet to pit, I believe. Redbot goes past, Soini goes past as well. But yeah, quite a gap to Gemini. We've got another couple of cars in the pit lane. It looks like Migfa finally decides to pit. But yes, our leaders still not having made a pit stop are on lap 22, about to be lap 23, and there's still nothing to choose between them. Rony Catilla still trailing Rick Cardle by just under half a second. Top two cars on the track who have made a pit stop are Gabor and Nico, and one of those is having a battle with Michael Malik still. Has he made it through this time? Yes, he has. On the entry, Michael's still alongside, and he's going to be alongside for the double left again. Michael is loving this. He's not letting Gabor get away. They're on different strategies, but that's not stopping Michael from having a fight. There's a car there. You want to have a fight with him. And Nico will be thanking Michael for that. And looks like Gabor's through, finally.
That's big relief there. Another battle for position is Naga and Felipe. They're coming down to turn number 5, I think it is. Sorry, 6. And that's a big leap for Felipe, and I think he's made it work. Naga failing at keeping the inside line, but he may have the next inside line available at turn 9. The hot spot for today's overtaking.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, he's just about got it, but it is Felipe's corner at the minute.
Yeah, Felipe leaving room. Nice fast entry, but he's going to probably... Oh, no, that's a very nice corner there from Felipe. He took a lot of momentum through that. Elmo in the background crunching the numbers says that Unite needs to find about 4 seconds if he wants to take the lead at the pit stop. That is if the leaders do as quick a pit stop as him. So yeah, 4 seconds. Yeah, so at the moment, Owen, it looks like if Rick and Eoin pit and Botsy pits, then Unite will, at his current pace, come out in P3. Botsy is just, he's nowhere near the pace that he needs to be if he wants to stay at the front of this race and take a podium. However, we have to keep in mind that Unite now is catching up to the back of Michael Malik, who is one of the drivers who has yet to pit. So we saw how difficult Gabor found it to get past Michael. Michael is a quick guy, and Unite will need to make quick work of him if he wants to have any shot of winning the race after this very bold strategy, I have to say. Pitting on lap 1, or near at the very first few laps of a 40-lap race with 40 cars around, that is bold if you want to try and win.
Yeah.
Spiky pits.
Spiky pits, yeah.
Yeah, the second of our Born to Race cars to enter the pit lane. That gives Unite a free place back.
Oh, there's contact. Beppo, Sachs, and Bush and Arcee. They were blapped a minute ago by the race leaders. Bush and Arcee profited by moving around the outside of Beppo, Sachs. After the chicane, they were side by side, but Beppo had hit the door of Bumshasnari and has now lost out quite significantly here. So that was nearly a headache for those top pair, but just sadly for those two at the back, they've now become separated.
Soini pitted, which has given a bunch of drivers a few places back, and now look at Nico. He's caught right up to the back of Michael. There's going to be a move on at some point. But yes, the gap between Nico and Gabor is around about 3 seconds. So even though Gabor was held up a little bit by Michael, he's got good pace. So it might take Nico a little bit longer to catch up to Gabor than we thought. So let's see. Can Unite make quick work of Michael Malik, Will Michael decide this is a time to pit and make his life easy? Let's see, as it looks like Nico missed a gear there. Nico must be using a H pattern or something. That was definitely a missed gear there. Anyway, here we go. Tighter line for Nico. I don't know how much driving you've done in the UF1 in Live for Speed, Eoin, but for the audience it must look pretty slow, but you have to say that in the braking zones this car is tricky. The rear does like to step out on the brakes as Nico goes for the outside move here around turn 1. Will Michael make it difficult for him? Yeah, of course he will. Here we go, side by side as we run up to the first chicane. Nico had a good run. Will Michael slot him behind? Yes, he does. So good move there. Quick work for Nico. And now he needs to break that toe and set his sights on Borgio ahead.
Nico has his H shifter in play here, so that'll certainly make a more authentic drive for him today. But in terms of my own UF1 experience, I haven't done at all much with it. I'd be more of an XFG guy based off the time I played the demo. So you can tell in the braking zone they'll be up to about 80 miles an hour, and then about a second later they're down to 40, so it just goes so slow, so quickly. Yeah.
Eoin needs to lock his door apparently, as he has someone...
Yeah, I didn't have my do not disturb up today. Oh well.
It's alright, no worries. Someone invading the commentary box. Michael Malik then down to P9. And yeah, Nico on the charge here. We're hearing that Nico lost basically no time at all getting past Michael, which is amazing to the leaders. So Nico is definitely on pace. He still has to get past Gabor, remember, and he still has to make up time to those the fighting pair, where you have to say the gap has opened up. Almost a second between P1 and P2 now.
The scenario's changed in a heartbeat, but Rony has the tricks to pull it back, I'm sure. Still plenty of time.
Plenty of time indeed, as we've got a battle on further back. Kig now setting his sights on Naga. Naga driving the purple Road Appraiser car there side by side as we head into the left-hander. Kig trying the undercut. It's a bit more braking than he needed there, actually. It's quite ambitious. Didn't need to get on the anchors quite that hard. Rick 98 and Cozzy side by side into turn 108.
Yeah, it's going to be battle of wits. Who's going to break the latest?
Yep, chicane again, and it looks like Cozzy will lead that battle up the hill. Gabor has Migfa ahead of him, who is a lap down at this point, so Gabor will have to get past this lap traffic quickly. He wants to stay ahead of Unite for much longer, and there's contact with the back marker.
Oh.
Migfa not really... that wasn't Migfa, sorry, that was Temperato, my mistake. Same livery. Yeah, so Temperato getting out of the way now, both Unite and Gabor, but yeah, unfortunate avoidable contact there. Sorry for blaming Migfa for that one. Migfa is quite a way further forward, battling with Rony at the moment.
Yeah, I could see what Temperato was trying to do, because you can't necessarily slam the brakes on a straight. In these cars, you're going to lose all your momentum. And even deceleration can have a sudden effect. So if he tried to dive away from Gabor's line, he could have cost himself badly. There would have been half a lap wasted, but I don't think he's suffered that badly, in fairness.
Now that we're around about halfway through the race, I think it's time to bring the audience up to speed with the standings in the Drivers' Championship before this round. Rick Cardle leads the way, 23 points ahead of excellent Vitatas de Gutskas. Then we have Yoni Katilla in P3, Ayub El Hanouni P4, Mandula P5, Michael Malik P6, Vincam for Born to Race P7, Rony himself P8, Magic in P9, and Cozzy rounding out the top 10. We have quite a lot more drivers on show this week who can earn points, so they will be joining this table as we head into race 3 next month. But yes, that's how the Drivers' Championship currently looks, and it looks like Rick Cardle is due to be extending that lead, as he currently has a 1 second lead over Rony in this race. Thank you for joining coverage of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL here on simbroadcasts.tv. We're about what are we, about 14 laps from the end now, Eoin, and we have a few more cars in the pit lane.
A good time to pit, in fairness. There was a battle, sort of short battle for position between teammates. Twin Cam overtakes Spiky on the narrow underpass straight. But maybe Spiky wants to have a go back.
Yeah, the Born to Race teammates have been battling with each other all race long. Eoin is still yet to pit. He's currently P4. These guys have pitted and they're just outside the top 10. But if they keep battling, then Eoin, well, the decision not to pit early is inspired, because these two will have been holding each other up for goodness knows how many laps. We'll have to see how that pans out. Pace-wise, it appears as though Spiky and Twin Cam are not holding each other up as much as we thought, and Eoin, if he pits now, may come out with them with these guys again. So yeah, they have been using their smarts, not holding each other up too much. Yeah, they don't want to battle too hard, certainly. So yeah, Rick Cardle leads ahead of Rony as we enter the closing stages of this race. Botsy in P3. He is also yet to pit, but there is almost a 9-second deficit to the lead for Botsy. Eob's coming up on a bit of traffic. He's yet to pit as well. He's in P4. Zesty likewise yet to pit. Texas is driving around in a respectable P6 at the moment. But behind him, he's getting swallowed up by the cars who have already set their pit stop in this race. 22 seconds off the lead. Gabor for Sidus, the first of the cars with the mandatory 10-second stop and hold pit stop under his belt. He's followed very closely by the man in P8 with the fastest lap, Genuine Racings and Nika Pantola under the alias of Knight. Then it's Michael Malek for Master Race Car and Mandula. That rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, very well said. We have a close enough battle between Yargtilla and Doni. That's 17th and 18th. Don't think there's enough of a run for Doni to gain on Yari this time around.
Well, there's no Yaroslav Donleek this week for Donny to battle with, so instead this week he's picking on Yari Katilla. Ozzy and Rick98 for Road Appraiser behind those two. They are battling hard as well. As I mentioned before, it seems to be a battle of pairs this race. They don't seem to want to be hanging around in groups of any more than two. It's often the fastest way around any racetrack if you're working together, as Rick pulls out of the slipstream across start finish on the inside in that wonderful pink and black Road Appraiser livery. I do like the Road Appraiser liveries. Haven't seen as many of them in recent times, as those two go side by side through turn 1, and it looks like Rick has the slight advantage. Yep, Cozzy yielding that place and will slide behind through the chicane.
A new fastest lap for Unite, a 150.58, 400ths better than his previous best, and that should cause concern for Gabor, who's now starting to gain on traffic again.
Yeah, the traffic moving out of the way very respectfully there. Ooh, yeah, had a little bit more of a tricky time.
Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, this car is tiny and this track is quite wide, so there should be no excuses for the back markers. Absolutely not. So far, so good. Kig and Naga are having a fight down the hill. Kig for Master Race Car is jumping out of the slipstream. Side by side through turn 6. And he's not through yet. He's still struggling to get past. Yeah, this is a common theme, isn't it, today, where drivers of a similar pace really are struggling to get past one another. Pig with a slightly tighter line on the entry to this double left, and he'll have to choose his line carefully through the right-hander into the final sector, because it is a difficult one to go side by side through. Yeah, Kig's trying to line him up. No cigar yet.
Yeah, it seems like that battle will carry on. But one that's also awaiting a final resolution is Boatgas and Climbs. Remember earlier in the race, there's High Pete on the number plate.
That's why I chose that view. I thought, yeah, let's get that on the screen. Side by side, they go down into turn number 1. Hello to you, Kig, as well. Turn number 1, it's close. He's got the inside just. But yeah, I think Naga will have the line into the chicane once again. Yep, so still Kig has to follow. You were watching another battle. You mentioned Bottagas.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, Climbs. Climbs had trouble earlier in the race with the heavily damaged rear end, but Bottagas, who may have engine troubles of his own,
that looked
finally
very easy.
loses position.
Yeah, that looked very easy, didn't it? So Bottagas potentially struggling with some engine damage. Engine damage is simulated in Live for Speed. You can begin misfiring if you drop down the gears too aggressively and over-rev your car. One of the features of Live for Speed that has existed for lots and lots of years and still doesn't appear in any other sims. LFS is great. Zesty pits and Unite moves up to P7. Zesty deciding enough's enough. He's going to make his 10-second pit stop. I think he moved forward a little bit there in his box. I'm not sure whether he meant to do that, but anyway, he is still stationary there. Hopefully he didn't trip the pit lane end. No, he made the time apparently, so that's all good.
He certainly did, but I think in this car it seems to be legal to be able to move in the pit box, so no harm done.
Yeah, our battle for the net lead after the pit stops sort themselves out between Gabor and Unite has come down to less than a second, Eoin. And that is because Gabor has got up to the back of Texas, who's yet to pit. And Texas does not have to give that position up. There is no blue flag involved here. Texas just hasn't made his pit stop yet. So Gabor will have to get past him as quickly as possible to avoid having a fight with Unite in the final 10 laps. Rony's just been passed by Eoin. Can you let me know who that is?
Yeah, it's Fat Ass.
Okay. What a name. Anyway, yes, that move made, and Rony down to P23. Gemini's making up places. He's got a run on the race green car of Redbot, apparently. A Redbot into turn 6. There's Zesty, yeah. Zesty's rejoined just behind Gemini, so that's how much time Gemini lost. Zesty's right behind him. Yeah, quite a surprise. Gemini just hasn't had the easiest time getting through traffic after his early pit stop, but, well, consolation is he came out ahead of his teammate, and you always want to come out ahead of your teammate, as Gemini sends it up the inside on Redbot. Redbot comes back across because there's a back marker there as well, but in the end, no contact, and he's through. 3 wide.
Let's pay attention. Yeah, this 3 wide battle, Gabor, Texas, and Unite. There is a beware of dog style warning on the back of Texas's car, but Unite and Gabor both ignore it. They overtook successfully. So there we go. The battle is well and truly on now for potentially 3rd place between these two.
Yeah, super camera angles once again by Elmo for this race, as we see well, a lot of trees actually. Gabor having to defend really hard from Unite now. This battle for what will be the net lead of the race, unless they hold each other up and Rick Cardle can pit without any issues. But yes, here we go then. Gabor versus Unite. The battle on your screen right now. Sidus versus Genuine Racing down the back straight towards turn number 6. Gabor going defensive already. Unite trying to go the long way. He likes trying to do that. It hasn't worked again on this occasion. Texas will probably not get involved again in this battle. He knows he's not in this fight. Or does he? Unite now has to try and get past Gabor. He doesn't want to lose any more time to the leaders. The gap around 25 seconds, and that probably won't be enough. He needs to clear Gabor, or these two need to work together if they want to overthrow Rick Cardle and Yoni Katila in this race. This is probably going to end up being the battle for third place. Rick Cardle and Yoni have just been setting stunning, consistent pace. Even though even though Nico has the fastest lap of the race at this point. On to start finish they come, Eoin.
Unite pulls out on the outside. That can definitely work if your braking is spot on. Let's compare the two brake lights, and virtually the exact same. Unite maybe on a blink of an eye was quicker, but Texas right behind as well. You can just check out the rear view of Unite. Oh, it's just single file there. They're so close.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Great racing, but ultimately, Eoin, this is bad because they're holding each other up, and that's letting the leaders get away scot-free. The gap is ever increasing now. Still, it's just about to tick over into the 25-second mark, which is quite important. And yeah, Texas is still there, and that gives you an idea of how much they're holding each other up. They tore up to the back of Texas, and now Texas is still there. So yeah, this is the battle for the podium, the last podium position now, I'm pretty sure.
Turn 6 will prove crucial. There are two more corners that are going to follow with
don't
flat
make
out
contact, guys. That's so close. They just gave each other enough room.
Yeah, these two corners coming up are flat out UF1s.
Yeah.
And that's favouring Gabor. He's picked the correct line to take. He merges from the inside apex all the way to the outside. So then he can defend it to turn 9.
They're losing gobs of time.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Again.
Just hold it. Oh, contact.
Oh, there's the contact.
Yeah.
And Texas has to yield as well.
Yeah, it gives Unite a bit of a bump, and they're losing so much time battling. Yeah, I was so fortunate that they didn't make side-by-side contact through turn 6. We've seen plenty of front-to-rear contact in the UF1, and it's ugly. You don't want to see side-by-side contact in the UF1. It's even worse as Texas decides to peel into the pit lane, and that leaves these two to battle away on their own. Quite an intense battle, and they both know why. It's for the podium. Rick Cardle, though, has opened the gap to 1 second over Yoni Katila. Still really close after 34 minutes of racing. Sorry, 34 laps. Quite a lot longer than 34 minutes, nearly an hour.
Yeah, we're heading well past the hour now. Botsy, we haven't had a lot to say about him either.
No, he's on his own. 10 seconds from the lead.
Leisurely enough drive.
Yeah, Texas...
Rick Cardle will be the one who want the relay of information off Gabor if he's willing to give it up. Whereas Botsy is just cruising along in a gross third place. He'll have to pit to find out where he really stands.
Texas made a very, very good decision there, Eoin. If he'd have spent another lap behind Unite and Gabor, he may well have lost out on that place to Gemini. Very, very nicely timed pit stop there for Texas. He comes out just, behind Gemini, but just ahead of Zesty, my mistake. But yes, well-timed pit stop. You have to think if he'd have pitted maybe a lap earlier, he would have been a bit closer to Gemini. But a strategy is a strategy, and Texas has the pace to try and maybe close in on the master race car, the top placed master race car driver of Gemini at this point. Certainly doesn't want to lose out to Zesty.
Well, big news here. Yoni Katila blinks first. He pits on lap 35. It's going to be
right.
He crossed the line.
Where will he come out in relation to this battle with Unite and Gabor? It's going to be close. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be very close. It might be 2, it might be 3 seconds. It might be a lot less. Let's see. Does Yoni nail his pit stop? He does. He's on his way down the end of the pit lane and ultimately is out miles ahead of these guys side by side across the line. They won't be happy to see Yoni joining so far ahead of them, but it is basically down to the fact that they've been battling for the last 5 laps.
Nico's been on the track with the same set of tyres since the beginning of the race with his lap 1 strategy or thereabouts.
But he's made the move. He's
through.
Great
pass.
Finally, Unite makes it past Gabor, and I think that gap is big enough that if Unite can maintain his stunning pace, that should be game, set, and match to him for the final spot on the podium. Yoni Katila going the right way for P2 unless he hits trouble. and he will want to get the hammer down because he has clear air, or just about. There's a back marker ahead of him, but anyway. Or is that a back marker? Is that Ayoub? He's come out behind Ayoub.
It's Ayoub, yeah.
Has
That's
Ayoub
massive
pitted?
surprise.
Ayoub hasn't pitted. I didn't think so. I was going to say that would be a massive shock if Ayoub hadn't pitted and had just arrived in P3 after all that. But yes, Ayoub giving me a bit of a scare there. He hasn't pitted yet, so that's why he's so high up at this stage of the race. Ayoub's going to come out around about P7 and 8, Eoin, between Mandula and Spikey, potentially.
Yeah, that's still fantastic for the
very nice.
championship for him. I wouldn't be too disappointed with the competition as fierce as it is. Top 10s are perfect.
We have 5 laps to go in this race, and if Catilla decides to catch up to Ayoub still doesn't have to let him through, remember. Ayoub has to make his pit stop, but doesn't have to let Rony through, so that could help Unite and Gabor out eventually. But at this point, I think the gap just too big. 4.5 seconds separating Unite and Rony Catilla. Unite has now gapped Gabor enough to probably not worry about him at this point. So when will Rick blink? Will Rony decide? Well, Rony doesn't have a choice now, but it's all in Rick Cardle's court. If he gets held up by even half a second to any cars ahead or makes an error, he may well lose that place to Rony Catilla. It is an undercut strategy for Rony. Rick trying to go as long as possible then in this race, probably expect him to come in on the penultimate lap for his one and only pit stop. And he'll have to make it a pretty quick one if he wants to maintain the lead. He has led from start to finish so far, but with 5 laps to go. When is he going to come into pit lane?
The difference maker is Climbs, who will need to be moved aside for a blue flag. It's just too early for him to get out of the way just yet. Cardle now catches up.
Yeah, we have...
By the back straight, or the front straight, he should make the move past.
I believe we have a record-breaking race. I believe we had a record number of qualifiers trying to get in, 43 into RTFR XL. We had 40 starters, which is amazing, and then 37 remain. So we've only lost 3 drivers from this race. Absolutely awesome stuff. But yes, let's hope that Climbs gets out of the way nicely, and lets our leader through. He cannot afford anything to go wrong now at this point.
Yeah, crucial phase coming up. So Climbs is not out of the way yet. Now should definitely be the time it is.
Yeah, moves out of the way.
It'll do.
Very good. Generally, the driving standards of our back markers has been very, very good in recent times. We are blessed with a very experienced community these days in Live for Speed, and everybody just here for a bit of fun and being very courteous to one another. So great to see that in RTFR and other series, that everybody giving each other a lot of respect, and yeah, people obeying the rules to the letter. Rick Cardle then has 4 laps to go, but still has to make a pit stop. Only a couple of cars are in the same boat. Ayoub currently sat P3, won't stay there for too much longer, because when he pits he should come out around about his teammates, so it'll be a born to race fight for team honours there, around about the 7th and 8th position mark. Mandula trying to take home the honours for race green, currently P7, and will likely be promoted to P6 once Ayoub makes his pit stop. Rick Cardle comes past the end of the pit lane, and it'll be another lap before we see him in the pits at least. He comes across the line to start lap 38 then, 4 laps to go. There's a car leaving the pit lane there. Steve Martin, yeah. Owen's teammate from the GT2 Challenge taking part.
Indeed, yeah.
And Alessio Rito is timing out of the race. That's unfortunate. So it could potentially be our 4th retirement of the race. Unfortunate there. for the Alma team. Yep,
Yeah, he's
unfortunately.
gone. So in the time that Rick Cardle is going to complete this lap, Thilo has provided more of his trivia. So Rick has a 4th RTFR XL win on the line here. It'll be his 3rd in a row if he can do it. So only Botsy can claim the rights to that particular streak. But if Rick does win, he's not allowed to pick the next combo.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, you're not allowed to pick the same driver isn't allowed to pick the combo for RTFR XL in a row. So yes, who will get to pick the combo? Do we know?
That I don't know, but Yanni Katila and Nick Matola have not won an RTFR XL event, whereas Yari Katila has.
Yari Katila?
Yes.
Okay.
He won the 23rd one.
Good. Bit of a surprise.
Yeah, given Yanni's pedigree, that is definitely a...
Did you mean Yanni or Yari?
Yeah, Yanni's winless in this. Yari has won.
Oh, wow.
I have that verified. Thilo will confirm that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Yanni Katila. Probably the only stat he doesn't have over his father. There we go. Apologies if that isn't true. Yari is a fast driver in his own right, but yeah, it's almost surprising me a little bit. But anyway, Yanni looks like he's going to take P3 in this race. Ayoub will not retain P3 for much longer when he comes across the line, but Yanni might do it on the road here, Eoin.
Yeah, that would be massive. He can pull out the win from this position.
Well, no.
Ayoub
yeah.
won't let him through, though. That's for a position on track.
Yeah, exactly. So. Rony needs to get past Ayoub as quickly as possible. We saw this with Michael Malik before with Gabor and Unite. But yeah, Ayoub showing some really nice pace, but Yanni cannot afford a second. This is the risk of doing the undercut. You will come up against cars that are slightly slower than you, and you've got to get past them quickly, whereas your rivals only have to get past back markers because they are miles out front. This is a battle for position, but it is somewhat of a different strategy for Ayoub. He's going for the Botsy and Rick Cardle strategy of pitting as late as possible. That will hamper Yanni Katila, though. Let's see how Yanni deals with this. Riding on board as we go through turn 6. Yanni sizing up the back of Ayoub. He'll get a little bit of an advantage through the slipstream that Rick doesn't have, but he also has the moving chicane to get past. Will Ayoub choose this opportunity to pit, or will he make Yanni's life a pain?
Rick Cardle carries on. He's going to pit this lap. This is his last chance to pit before he's going to run out of laps, so we'll keep an eye on Rick Cardle for definite here.
Yep, Ayoub has his right indicator on. That's a signal to Yanni that he doesn't need to worry about getting past. That will be music to Yanni's ears. Ayoub pulls over to the right hand side and pulls into pit lane. 2 laps from the end for him, but Rick Cardle is leaving it late. He's going to do it on the last lap possible. He has to come into pit lane this lap or he will be disqualified. That promotes Yanni Katila to P2. Genuine Racing's Nico Pantola takes up P3 at the moment. Then Gabor and Botsy, who has also just made a pit stop unseen to us. He returns to the race in P5. So, yeah, not the outing that Botsy was potentially hoping for. Gabor and Unite still close, but Unite currently sat very solidly in that 3rd place position. Yanni Katila is just waiting for Rick Cardle to pit to see how that battle will unfold. This is the race for the lead, and it's interesting. We have no information in our ears about how this is going to turn out, so it's going to be a shock for us all. Let's keep an eye on Rick Cardle, Owen. He's going to come into the pit lane this lap, and we're going to have a 1-lap scrap to the finish between Yanni Katila and Rick Cardle for Sidus.
Yeah, Rick Cardle, so that's a 1:10.3 second split. That's definitely target time if he's going to win this race.
Let's see what goes on here. We have opinions in our ears that we're not going to share with you because we want to leave the suspense open. We are not providing statistics powered by AWS, unfortunately for all you F1 fans. So Rick Cardle into the pit lane. down to the pit lane speed limit, chooses a box somewhere in the middle of the pit lane. Oh, yes, okay, gets the car stopped. Where is Yoni? Yoni's coming through the corner before the final chicane. Oh, it's going to be close, Eoin.
Yeah, here we go. Yoni flat out on that final chicane.
Rick's moving. Here comes Yoni. Oh, it's going to be so close, but I think Rick has just got it as we go across start-finish. He has. So, Yoni just about, rejoins basically exactly where he was before. That was so close. You do have to ask whether Ayub did have any effect. I don't think so. These guys are just so close on pace. The undercut did not work for Yoni. Rick Cardle has driven so superbly this race. Solid as a rock and such consistent pace for the Sidus driver. Yoni threw everything at him, and we still have most of a lap left. But yeah, they've driven 41 laps of this track now, and I feel like that is going to stay like that. So let's turn the cameras elsewhere. We have a battle for P11 between Gentleman YTB and Zesty, Eoin.
The gentleman, as I said earlier in the broadcast, is the most cavalier driver in the first chicane.
Absolutely.
He just needs to do it one more time, and he has. But watch out for Twin Cam in the background there. And his big car, as he says, is his number plate.
Fern Bay Gold Chicane Cavalier. I like that. Battle further back, side by side actually, between Road to Praise's Rick 98 and Iron's Donny. That's going to go down to the wire, so we are going to have a few battles going on at the finish. If not at the front, then further down. But yes, look at that gap at the front. Amazing after nearly an hour and a half of racing between Rick Cardle and Yoni Katilla. 0.8 of a second at the second sector. But yes, we are coming into the final couple of corners now. Rick Cardle looks set to take 2 from 2 in 2021. And his, did you say 5th win in RTFR XL, Eoin? Or 4th?
Maybe his 4th, but it's 3.
3 in a row, right, gotcha.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Rick Cardle for Sidus pulls over to the middle of the road, flashing his headlights, weaving in success. Congratulations to Sidus, making it 2 from 2. Yoni Katilla comes across the line in P3. But we've got some scraps going on lower down the field. Unite comes across the line P3. Gabor makes it P4. Botsy makes it 3 Sidus drivers in the top 5. Amazing. And then Mandula P6. Who have we got coming across the line?
Bump drafting finish. It's Twin Cam against Gentleman. Oh, Zesty's going to lose out on the death. Twin Cam gains the position. Oh, Zesty must be furious at that.
Well, Twin Cam must be delighted about that. Ayub took home team honours for Born to Race, finishing P7. Only a couple of seconds ahead of Spiky, so good battle there. Ultimately determined by traffic and a pit stop, I think. Gemini comes across the line in P9, being the top master race car driver in this race. Texas P10, then it's Gentleman YTB who put on a great show for us actually, Eoin, I think today. Just narrowly missing out on the top 10 there in P11. Twin Cam for Born to Race P12, Zesty for MRC coming across the line. Less than a tenth behind him actually, because it was side by side in P13. Stankus, after a strong start, ultimately finishing down in P14. Yari Katilla, who, rather surprisingly to me, has more RTFR XL wins than Yoni at 1. Hopefully Yoni can change that stat this year. I think he'll probably want that, to be honest. Then it's Donny in P16. Then Rick 98 for Road Appraiser P17. Michael Malik P18. Kozzy and Fatas in P19 and 20. Then Rony narrowly missing out on the top 20 in his own series. P21, Felipe P22, Redbot for Race Green in P23. Then Migfa P24, Timu Soini in P25. Naga, Kig, Magic, Dario and Climbs round out the top 30. Steve Martin 31st, Bottigas P32, Bumjazi in P33, Temperato P34. And Beppo Sachs rounds out the 35 finishers in round 2 of the 2021 season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large.
Yeah, fantastic job for everybody who qualified for the race itself. Shame we lost 5 drivers, but the standard was very high. Rick Ardle now arrives to take his podium, and he's found an intruder, Michael Malik, sitting on the podium that belongs to Rick Ardle for today. So
Fantastic. It's a fight for the podium. I like to see that.
a literal fight for the podium, but Michael relents eventually and allows our Victor to take the spoils.
So there we have final classification of the results on the screen. 40 cars classified, but yes, only 35 finishes. Talha, Alessio Ramito, Carlos Atian, and Chameleon DNFs ultimately on this occasion, as we have Spikey joining Rick Cardle on the podium there to spoil his celebration somewhat. So, yeah, Spikey, you didn't earn it today, mate. Yeah, Rick Cardle there on the podium. Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large. Congratulations to him and Sidus on an result. Fastest stop of the race, which is an interesting statistic we like to talk about. Nico Pantola took the fastest pit stop, followed by Spikey, who decided to invade the podium.
We don't award a trophy for our fastest pit stop drivers, but I suppose he wanted some sort of compensation.
Well, at least Nico Pantola got it right this week and didn't understop. He did it just perfectly this week. Okie dokie, that brings to a conclusion our coverage of the 50th edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL. A couple of housekeeping notices. We have the GT2 Challenge coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Round 5 coming to you from Sim Broadcasts TV, the New Dimension Racing GT2 Challenge. That'll be on Sunday the 7th of March from 6 o'clock here on simbroadcasts.tv. But next up we have Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, the regular edition, the 249th RTFR from Aston North in the XFG, and that'll be next Tuesday on the 2nd of March at 10 to 7 UTC here on Twitch. And we will repeat the announcement we made during the break between qualifying and the race that we are going to be taking our first steps into iRacing coverage with the inaugural round of the Scottish Motor Racing Club's Esports Racing Spring Cup on the 17th of March from 8 o'clock UTC. We're very excited about that, and here's the teaser. So something a little bit different here on Sim Broadcast. We are trying out some iRacing coverage, and it's quite a big one. It's the Scottish Motor Racing Club's Esports Racing Spring Cup, using the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup at 6 tracks in iRacing, and I do believe that we're very close to selling out the tickets for that. But if you do fancy that by any chance, then I think there are still a couple of tickets left for the first series of 3. Which will be hosted this year by the SMRC, and you can find more about that on the SMRC website at smrc.co.uk. iRacing coverage, that'll be fun, Owen.
Yeah, that should certainly deliver another experience for the channel.
Yeah, definitely. We have some crack commentary for that as well. Andy Alston and Duncan Vincent, names familiar to you if you are from Scotland and go to the Not Kill Racing Circuit ever. But yes, it's going to be fun. I cannot wait for that. Anyway, back to tonight's action. What a show we had. Rick Cardle ultimately making it a lights to flag finish. Lights to flag victory, followed by Yoni Katila. Very, very close the whole race. 0.8 of a second separated the top two at the line. Unite, after a gamble pitting in the early laps, ended up in P3 and took the fastest lap here today, making our giving us entertainment throughout the race there with a sort of an alternate pit stop, and it definitely worked for him. I think picking up a podium there with that tactic and having to fight his way through a lot of traffic. Owen.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. The traffic proved a little bit of a nuisance, but the quality of driving shone through once again. So So well done to our lead drivers. They put on a heck of a show. And again, we had plenty of fun up and down the field. That's what we tune in for, and why we practice all those hours to put on the best performances we can.
Absolutely. Thank you very much once again, Eoin, for joining me for commentary on Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL. Hope you can join us next time. Yes, just a reminder to everybody out there that the next race we are covering here on Sim Broadcasts is this Tuesday, the next Tuesday, sorry, and that will be the regular RTFR Championship from Aston North in the XFG, a car you said you liked earlier on, Eoin, so hopefully you can join me for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I have the time.
Excellent. That'll do for us here. Thank you for tuning in as ever. Congratulations to our drivers for another stunning race. Fantastic turnout once again. Really, really pleased with that. We hope you have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.